Hi everyone, welcome to Eden's Secret. Today I'm going to show you me chopping up a big block of Stephensons soap. This is the Crystal ST, so it's the crystal, it's the clearest one that they, well I think it's the clearest one that they do, and it's the one I like. It does, it's not like a sweat-free one. It does sweat, but I like that it's nice and hard compared to the others. Of course, I haven't tried all of them. Also, I want to talk about the different types of knives, because a few people have said that they can't cut straight. So I just wanted to give you a couple of tips on how to do that. Of course, I can't cut perfectly straight. So the great thing, Stephensons came up with this patented box that they pour all of their melt and pour soap into. It has a special lip on the side that just folds under like that, and then those two open up, and then it's the same on this side here. So you can literally open the box right up like that and then just slide off your block onto whatever surface you're working on. Now if you look in the corners, there's always a bit of melt and pour in there, so I always peel that off, because of course we want to use that as well. And then we just put the box back together, because when I chop the soap I'm going to use this box again. They're actually great for shipping things in as well. If you haven't got a great big order, they're really nice and strong for shipping orders out. So that's the box. It's all lined with foil, nice and strong. So there we go for the box. We need our loaf over here. I'm wondering where's the best place to stand. I think we'll stand on the edge here. So I've got a few different knives here. This, you know, a lot of people have told me what this is called. I've forgotten already. I don't know if it's a big double-handed cheese knife. If you can, just remind people in the comments if I've got that wrong. I found this knife the other day. It's a Stellar, and they were selling them off at my local kitchen shop for £6. So I bought two of those, and the knives I've always used for cutting my soap is Global. They're a fantastic brand, but they're very expensive. When I bought these, they were about £90. I know they're at least double that now, so I have two different sizes. And the reason these knives, this is where the beauty of a great knife comes in. It's got a fairly straight bottom, where the bottom of this one is quite curved, isn't it? And when it's curved, it makes it a little bit more difficult to cut straight. The other thing with these knives is they're very narrow on the sides. The top, yes, it is wider, it is thicker than the bottom, but it's really narrow. So a nice thin blade is what you're looking for, and the metal with these is really strong. I've had these knives for at least 10 years, I would think. At least 10 years. This one was a bit longer, and those of you who've been watching my channel for a long time will remember when I dropped it on the floor and I chopped the end off it. So it was really messy on the end, and John just ground it down with one of his grinders. So if you find one, the end is a little bit different to this. It doesn't look exactly like that, but it's similar enough. Just wanted to show you, if I have one, the type of knife you do not want. This type of knife here. This is a much cheaper knife, and it looks fairly good, but it's not. The reason being, it's very narrow on the top, but it's quite thick. Narrow on the bottom, but it's quite thick on the top. And then again, with the curved edge added, just makes it impossible to cut evenly where your slice of soap. I'm not talking about these blocks because it doesn't matter what shape they're cut into, but when you're trying to cut a loaf of soap, this type of knife is no good at all. And the thicker it is on the top, the worse it becomes, because it wants to go off in a direction, whether it's that way, or when you're pushing down it might want to come this way. So steer away from that type of knife. That's the type of knife you don't want to use when you are cutting soap. So here we go. I've got my double bladed knife. I don't know if I need to zoom out. Oh, I am zoomed out. Wind her up a bit higher, and then you can see what I'm doing on the top. And so all I do is I cut about 1.5 inches length off each side, all the way along. It takes a bit of pressure pressing down to cut. It's much easier cutting it with this great big knife though than trying to cut a big block with a smaller knife. You use your smaller knife to cut it into chunks. And no, it doesn't damage my work surface, but it will if you've got a wooden worktop, or this is granite, or those types of worktops that are covered with sticky stuff. But you know, that goes with any cutting, you know, whether you're chopping stuff for cooking, it's just the same. So I know all of you are intelligent enough to know to put something down on the bottom to chop on. But luckily my granite here is fine. It puts up with a heck of a lot and it hasn't scratched at all, but some granites are different. So I would always suggest to use a chopping block. Not one that you're going to use for cooking though. Again, if it's a chopping block, it must always be used for soap. Just keep the two separate. I know we're all responsible adults and we all know these things. Just sometimes you get people writing in the comments, so I just wanted to answer that for anybody that might get confused because of something someone might have written in a comment. Okay, so that's the block chopped there into lengths, and we're just gonna now chop like this. I don't like to chop them the chunks too small, because the smaller they are, I'll show you in a bit. I'll just pop them in the box. So that's the smaller knife. It's great for chopping chunks like that. The bigger knife is stronger. And the smaller knife feels more delicate. And with both of them, you can cut in a fantastically straight line, straight down the soap. As you've seen when we chop a loaf of any mountain paw soap with this knife. This tends to be the one I use. I use this size rather than the smaller one. So let's just try this knife for doing this job. It actually feels, it's brand new, so it's really sharp. But I feel like I need to put more pressure on. And then if you look at the cuts on the side, you can see they're a little bit wonky. But if you were cutting a loaf which is smaller, you might get away with being able to cut it straighter with this knife. But again, as it's for just chopping this up into chunks, it's fine. It's also fine for doing this job. So I'll just put as much in there as I can until I can get the top on neatly. And then I'll just take another box and pop it on the top and fill that one up as well. Because when you're chopping your block up, you can't get it all in the box. So you can get 2 boxes of solid soap chopped up into 3 boxes. So it does like a box and a half each solid box full. Hope that makes sense. And the reason I make my blocks of soap big and chunky like this, when you're picking them out of the box, if I had these chopped up into 4 pieces, when I'm putting them in my jug, it's just a time saving thing. A bit of time management here. When I want to fill up my jug, I just because they're big, you just, pick them off and pop them into your jug. If I had smaller pieces, I'd have to pick a lot more of those up to fill the jug up. So that's the only reason I cut them into large pieces. Right, I hope that was helpful to everyone that hasn't seen me do this before. Have a great day everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with another video. Bye bye for now.